Today I'm going to talk about 3 herbs to help you get to sleep. I'll be talking about linden, lemon balm, and hawthorn. All 3 of these are mild beverage tea herbs. They're all things that you could give to just about anybody, and you could just have it as a beverage, just as food. So you don't need to worry about them being too strong or too intense or anything like that. They're all things that you could give to babies. So they're of course each different from each other, but each of them makes a nice tea on its own. And so something that I like to do for people who they want my advice for what herbs they should take, but they also want to learn more about herbs. Something I like to do is this is a perfect example. If they say like, I'm having a hard time falling asleep at night because I've been stressed out. So okay, here are 3 different herbs. Each of them will help you relax a little bit. Each of them is good for helping you fall asleep. Each of them is a pleasant tea to drink on its own. Also, you could have them, any 2 of them together, or all 3 of them together, or you could try different proportions. So these are 3 really good herbs where you could just have each of the 3 of them in a jar, and you can play around and get to know each of them as individuals and in combination and see what's really working for you. So I'll go over each of them on their own, so you have a little bit idea of why you might choose one over the other. Lemon balm, it's just such a fantastic herb. This is, so when I travel, I like to go to herb shops, of course. And lemon balm, it's usually called Melissa, because that's its scientific name. And so it's pretty easy to recognize in all different languages. And it's nice for dealing with the stress of travel, trying to fall asleep in an unfamiliar place. It's also nice for digestion if I'm eating unfamiliar food or at unfamiliar times. It also will help if I have a little bit of a headache or if I feel a little bit stuffy. It's diaphoretic, like lifting to the surface, and so it helps if you're if you're feeling like a little bit under the weather. It helps with that. So it's kind of this incredible all-purpose type of, I just think of it as one of the amazing all-rounders, and it also has a pleasant flavor. So so what I like to do when I travel is I'll go to an herb shop and I'll buy lemon balm tincture. So it's because it's something where I can go in and I can say like, oh yeah, I want this specific thing, and they're gonna have it, and then I can have a conversation with the herbalist of the shop. That's what I do. So lemon balm. If you can also, it's pretty easy to grow on your balcony here in Berlin. It doesn't mind shade too much, so that's nice. It needs a lot of water. It makes an absolutely fantastic sun tea. I used to do this a lot more in Austin, where the sun is a lot more intense, but I do it here in Berlin as well, because sometimes it's sunny, but you don't really need the sun. With aromatic herbs like mint and lemon balm and basil that have these fantastic aromatics, and when you add hot water to the fresh herb, or if you dry it, you're going to get a really different flavor. But if you just put it in cold water, and I'll put it in a glass bottle and put it where there's sun shining on it, you'd get the amazing, the way it smells, that wonderful smell. So yeah, lemon balm done that way is just fantastic. But you can also dry it. But it's a really nice one to grow and harvest yourself, and it combines well with a lot of other herbs. So that's lemon balm. Then the next one I wanted to talk about is hawthorn, which, man, it grows just about everywhere. You'll see it growing a lot in Berlin. I usually buy it, and it has a very, how can I describe it? Almost a little bit of a berry flavor, a little bit sweet. I find it to be a very, very pleasant tea. And it is calming. Hawthorn is kind of one of the absolute most classic heart tonics. So it's got so many different benefits for the cardiovascular system. It's a really good example of this idea, polypharmacy, this idea that herbs will have hundreds, thousands of different molecules in them, and sometimes you get this confluence, like in Hawthorn, where this molecule does this, and this molecule does this, and this molecule does this, and it all adds up. All of them are heart benefits. It's lines up neatly. So Hawthorn, I'm just thinking it's like, it has that sort of calm the heart, chill out. It's just precious. It's sweet. It's nice. It's just a very nice herb, very mild. I would say it's one. The calming effects are kind of almost secondary. It's like it's very mild, but it's pleasant. It's nice, and it mixes really well with others. So it's a nice one to get to know. Linden, another sweet, another heart herb. All these are heart herbs. They're all just calm, Linden is so sweet. It's like when you. So Berlin is a city with a lot of linden trees, and linden is one of the trees that's very important to German culture. It's got this. The light under linden trees is special. They have this, these light green leaves, and the way the sun comes through, it's just. Hildegard von Bingen said they had the most viriditas of any plant. Viriditas is the green chi that plants have. And true, when you're under a linden, it's got a coziness to it. And it's got these heart-shaped leaves, and they're so sweet. It's one of these plants that can be very messy because it has so much sweetness in the leaves, and then it gets bugs on it, and I love that word, frass. The bug poop gets everywhere, and so it can be really messy underneath them. When they bloom, it's this. You're like walking through these clouds of perfume. It's just wonderful. And so something really nice about linden is that it's rather moistening. So many herbs can be drying, and I would say it's the moistest of these herbs, right? So from the Melissa, lemon balm would be the driest, Hawthorn in the middle, and linden would be the wettest. It's the least drying of them, and it is tasty. It has a sort of almost a honey kind of flavor. Like if you combine these three herbs, it's going to be the sweetest one of them, and it's just so gentle and calm. It's making me like, thinking about them is making me like, oh. So that's what I have to say. I would consider trying lemon balm, Hawthorn, and linden if you are looking for nice herbs to combine in your evening tea to help you fall asleep, especially during stressful times.